Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. We're now working on remodeling Courtyard Lane, and I decided that based on a couple of the homes in that neighborhood that we're going for a French colonial architecture. And so while this was another shotgun style house, I'd already done several of those in the previous neighborhood. So this was going to be a full remodel with a two-story French colonial. What's interesting about the French colonials in America are that they were in states that were once ruled by France, which includes Louisiana. What's interesting about the French colonial buildings in Louisiana were that they were adapted to protect the homes against heat, humidity, rain, flooding, and hurricanes. So kind of the type of French colonial home that you would find in Louisiana have that iconic wraparound porch, and they were actually built to protect the homes from strong sunlight, and they were also usually propped up by a raised basement, but I did not obviously do a basement for this house. And then the ceilings were raised again, so similar to those shotgun houses with the quote 9 foot ceilings. I don't know what the actual height is, but in Simland, let's call them 9 foot ceilings. And they were often vaulted to alleviate that extreme heat that accumulated inside the house because, again, this was before air conditioning. But, this is Simland and there is air conditioning, but I'm still going to do those 9 foot ceilings. Another interesting thing about the French colonial style is that there were often not like a hallways in the houses. They just added rooms on. So that's like similar to the shotgun style. But with these French colonial houses, it was just easier to allow a cross ventilation system that allowed cool air to permeate all the rooms in the house. So even though upstairs there's kind of a, which you'll see later, little hallway off the staircase, I tried to not do any hallways. And then similar to the shotgun style houses, because we're in Louisiana, because there are hurricanes, because this is based on Louisiana, and because Louisiana has hurricane season, I did do the windows with shutters again, because that would be something you would definitely have in Louisiana homes. And so something I forgot to mention earlier is that I have moved Tiana, the character that I made for one of my houses in the previous neighborhood, into this home. And she is now married to Naveen, and this is where they're going to be living. So I wanted to keep the 2 bedroom, but I made it a 2 bedroom and 2.5 bath. So each of the bedrooms upstairs has its own bathroom, and then the downstairs has like a little water closet situation. Or I guess washroom. I'm not really sure what you call those little half baths. But it definitely needed to have like a large kitchen and hopefully just like a small space for a garden. I also picked this house specifically because it's called Rindle Rose. And since we don't know what Tiana's last name is and we don't know what Naveen's last name is, I actually went with Rose because the person who played the voice of Tiana, her name is Anika Rose. And so I just thought that would be kind of a fun, cute way to honor what I think is a very talented voice and regular actress. And also because of the last name Rose, that kind of, I really wanted to keep the exterior pink, but ultimately I just decided that I couldn't imagine the French colonial style home being pink. And maybe that's just silly. Probably is. But so I decided instead to do a lot of the rooms in like a pale pink or like a muted mauve color. And then just do like accent colors that go with that. So like greens and yellows and browns. But that way I kind of kept 2 ways of it being a rose for the name of the house. I also, in the last neighborhood, had changed the names of all of the homes once I did the renovation, but I decided to keep this as Rindle Rose. So, in trying to keep with the French colonial style, a French colonial home has a square, symmetrical exterior. So I did try to keep that in the front porch with the front door in the middle, flanked by 2 windows. Um, and then most interior rooms have access to the outdoors via French double doors. So I did do that for the front door. And then I think on the side door, I just did just like one small door. But it's still trying to keep with like having access or having lots of windows with the shutters, except for I don't have windows with shutters that I like for the kitchen. So I keep using that similar like 3 block of windows. Then, of course, it being Louisiana, I wanted there to be that cute, tiny front porch, front like gated area, front yard, because I just really liked doing it with the previous neighborhood, and I thought I would introduce that to this neighborhood as well because this lot doesn't really have a lot of space for a back or front yard, and I thought it really needed to have something kind of cute. So another neat feature about the French colonial homes were the main and then the upstairs porches, and then they were actually didn't used to be stylized with like that wrought iron that we're used to from the Louisiana homes, like for the gates and also for like the porch railings. That was added kind of in the 1800s, and it's unique to the American French colonial structures. And what I was reading online was that it may have come from like a Spanish influence during that period. And French colonial homes in America can be found in urban and rural Louisiana, but also very traditional French colonial homes that still exist today are in the Garden District of New Orleans. So I was kind of thinking that this neighborhood would be like the outer skirts of the Garden District, because as I'm looking ahead at like the neighborhood where the Goths live, I'm thinking that that's probably like the main area of the Garden District. I have been to the Garden District. It's very cute. It's fun to walk around if you ever have a chance to go. So, anyway, when I do Sims homes, I usually do the bathrooms first. I don't know why. I think it's fun to set them up because it's a pretty basic structure. Like, you're going to need a toilet, you're going to need a sink, and then are you going to do a shower and a bath or just the bath shower like combo? And then just, I feel like the little decorative elements that the Sims can't really use anyway are just fun. And it's just kind of a quick thing to knock out. So, in general, if I have more than one bathroom in a house for a Sim, I will get those all knocked out at once. I also like the idea of it just being like a grander neighborhood. And so I thought that there should be like a bathroom for each room and then like a little guest bath downstairs for like if people are over, that kind of thing, to use and not have to like go through the bedrooms. Whenever I'm like setting up sim houses, I know that these are computer games, but I just really like setting them up the way that you would design an actual home that people are going to live in and like have people over for. So, this was like a smaller, like 1-person bathroom because I imagine this is like a guest room, or I think I decorated it like a teen or like a kid, not necessarily like a toddler or a baby, but like a kid who goes to school because I put a desk in. I also, even though it's like an older house and they were less likely to have closets, I love the little like 2-by-1 closet that they have in the game. I'm sure it's from an expansion pack and I'm not exactly sure what, but yeah, it just makes it like a little more real for me and I like that. And as I discussed previously, this is a home for Tiana and Naveen, so it needed to have a large kitchen. And I set up the kitchen and then later remembered that I had like the career reward kitchen pieces that I had wanted to add. So I think I come back later and fix that. But yeah, I think they're called galley or gallery style kitchen where, you're kind of like on 2 sides in a walkthrough. And then having like a breakfast nook off to the side, where I imagine they would like eat usually, and then like a cute little dining room in the kind of entrance area for when they have guests over. I also tend in like real life and also in Sims to do like white kitchens a lot. And again, I don't see Tiana as being like a white kitchen type person. Also, with trying to go with the pink and the muted pink, kind of not overwhelmingly girly pink, the brown just, I think, looks a little bit better with that color. Of course, there would be like herbs hanging and dishes in various states of getting cleaned and drying in the house, because I imagine these are not the type of people who would do takeout very frequently. If you have that kind of cook in the home, why would you ever eat out? And I did also want to just do a little bit of open shelving display on one side. And obviously, there would be like lots of cookbooks, like you see in the movie in Tiana's room when she's older. But also just kind of simple. I didn't want it to be like super over decorated. And yeah, then the breakfast nook, I kind of wanted to be cheery. So I added, I think I did yellow chairs, and then just some plants and fun curtains. Oh, and yeah, I love anytime there's a table, I have to put a little chandelier over it. I don't know why I always do that. And then this is where I remembered that I had the career rewards I wanted to use. So, like the fancy knife holder and the, I think it's like called a pancake stove or something. And I think I paused a little bit because I was worried that like maybe it wouldn't work as a regular stove. It does work as a regular stove. So, and then I thought I could use the space under the stairs for a small laundry room. And I think I messed around a few times with like the half wall, and I just didn't really like it. So I think I eventually just got rid of the half wall, but I do that a little bit later. I also was, because the French colonial style homes, I kind of talked about with the symmetry that if there's like a fireplace, there would be like one fireplace like right up in the middle, or there would be like one on either side of the house. And I initially played around with the idea of putting in a fireplace, but then I decided against it, and just did like a little living room, and kind of to display more books and cookbooks, and obviously somewhere for Tiana to watch cooking shows for ideas. And then just did some a little bit of artwork and plants. And again, with like the curtains, I think I might have changed out the curtains later on because I wasn't really a huge fan of like the brown curtains. Maybe later. But yeah, and I'm also really liking these floating, I can't remember what they're called, like modular something shelves, and just a kind of fun way to display plants and little knickknacks, the fun things to put down that the Sims can't really use anyway. I don't know why I have so much fun putting down the things that the Sims can't use. But I guess that's what kind of makes them fun too, because you can size them and it doesn't really matter. I'm always worried about sizing something that a Sim actually can use, or putting it in like a direction that they can't use it anyway. But with the knickknacks, you can just do whatever you want. And then, yeah, with the dining room, I just wanted it to be very simple. I think I imagined having a bigger table, but it bothered me to have like the table and the chair kind of spill over into the path of the doorway. So I just went with the smaller one. And of course, there just has to be greenery everywhere. And then I just wanted, I think I imagined initially like having kind of like an office space for no reason. I think I always like to have like a little office space in a house. But it was nice to just have like a little front room with desk and a lamp and some bookshelves for more cookbooks and other books on cooking. And then I definitely have to divide or, set up the rooms, make them a little bit separate with a rug, and then do some little areas for hanging things as you come in the house. Again, things they can't use. Okay, this is where I got rid of the half wall and moved the washer dryer back, and then just put like a little place to fold laundry or whatever. I also love having the thermostat from Seasons, and then just, little mudroom kind of cleaning supply stuff. And then I just checked, the first floor to make sure everything was done, and then went on to the kid/teen room. I think I found some little starlights to kind of put around the room, and of course did a green. Well, I guess the bed is not green, but has green sheets, and then just like a little desk and a computer because, of course. I kind of kept going with that green with the curtains, and then I decided to bring a little more pink in with the chair, and then just did some shelving because I definitely needed to add some more tchotchkes that can't be used by the Sims. And then this is the only hallway, if you can call it that. I think it's more like a stair landing. And I sized and resized the carpets, of course, just until I found something I liked. And then I was really excited to kind of keep this room like a master suite. And with that porch, I was going to initially like have it be accessible from the upstairs, but then I decided it should just be like a kind of a nice little place to relax for Tiana and Naveen. And I had to figure out somewhere to put the closets, which I did. And then I always struggle with these curtains. I think they're super cute, but I can never get them to sit where I want them to. And I definitely had to move the robes around a few times to get them in the right spot. Of course, they both have pink robes, just different shades. And I really love those like flower looking sconces. I can't remember where they came from. And also thought like, I don't see Tiana as like being the type of person who's going to sit down and do makeup in the morning, but I did think it would kind of be cute to have like a little desk, or I don't know, table in the room where like she could sit down, like write a thank you note or something, or just have like a little space to clear her head at night or in the morning. So I did do like a cute little pink chair with that. And I really like the wall decorations, and I can't remember what pack that comes from either. But I also thought it would be, just because the room is so long, that that there would be like a little exercise kit where they could maybe do like yoga or Pilates on the porch in the morning or evening, whenever it works for them. And then, of course, it being Louisiana, there needs to be fans on the porches and in the house around, just to keep things cool. And then because of Rindle Rose, I had to, of course, have some rose bushes, and they had to be pink. And I think it reminds me of like that. I think it's a Coco Chanel saying where it's like, before you leave the house, take off one thing. I think she meant jewelry, not like clothing. But I think I went a little overboard with the flowers. So after I like placed them around a few times, I just removed a few of them and kind of started over. Well, not started over, just got rid of a few of them to make it look a little bit cleaner and not too like red and orangey. or I got rid of everything. And then I had to go back in the house. I forgot to put like hampers. So I fixed that. And then with the porches, I really detest boob lighting in real life as well as in the game, but I didn't really leave myself space for putting like wall lighting. I love the wind chimes from, oh, I can't remember if it's like the Romantic Garden kit. And so, of course, have to put that around. I was kind of thinking that like Naveen and Tiana would have like coffee on the upstairs porch, but I think I ended up getting rid of the table and chair and just like left the couch and just put a bunch of plants. Because again, I just imagine that Naveen becomes handy and becomes really good with gardening, as Tiana already would be. And so they would just have like a little place to sit with their plants and drink coffee or whatever, hang out in the morning. And then the lower porch would be more for like visiting, but of course would have plants and other things and more wind chimes, because I think wind chimes are awesome in real life as well as in The Sims. Oh yeah, and I put in a bigger couch because I think it looked better once I took the table and chairs out. I don't know why, but I'm always trying to put carpets down outside because, I mean, it's not real life, so it's not like they're going to get wet or anything. Also, it's a covered porch. And I really like the hanging plants, and I can't remember where those come from either. I think maybe it's like blooming something. But yeah, I think I made this porch a little bit more simple than I did the like shotgun style homes. Mostly just because this house has a little more interior entertaining space. And so I didn't really need like a big couch or like two big seating areas. And then the only thing I really had left was like kind of a small side yard. I did want to put in some trees or some kind of like physical-ish barrier from like the running path, but also like a kind of a way to get to the running path, because for some reason I feel like Tiana and Naveen would be like, that's how they would exercise, is go running together. Maybe because I'm weird. And of course there needed to be a little beehive, because I imagine that Tiana's like really good with, bees and making honey for her beignets. And then just a little small garden area for her to grow things. And that is that. I had a lot of fun building this one. I'm looking forward to doing my next French Colonial, which I think is going to be the one next door. But thanks for watching, and please subscribe.